You cannot smell the street anymore. The mask sees to that. Through 2 circles of glass, the world is yellow and far away, and your own breath comes back hot and herb sour against your face. The city is paying you to be looked at while it dies. A woman is pulling at your leather sleeves, saying a name, the same name over and over, pointing at a door. You already know what is behind the door. You have painted the mark on 40 doors like it this week. She does not understand yet. You do. The city is paying you to wear this beak so that the dying have someone to look at while they die. The city is Marseille. The year is 1720. And the thing in the air came off a ship. Level 1. The mask. They give it to you the way you would hand a soldier a uniform. A long coat of waxed leather to the ankle. Gloves. A wide black hat. And the beak, a curved mask of leather and bone. 2 glass eyes, the long nose packed tight with dried herbs and rose petals and vinegar-soaked rags. A physician named Charles Delorme drew this costume 100 years before you were born. They believe sickness travels in bad air, a stench they call miasma, and that sweet herbs in a long enough nose will keep the bad air an arm's length from your lungs. You put it on. You believe it too. For now. No one will say it out loud. So you will say it to yourself. The herbs do nothing. The ship that brought it is still in the harbor, and the thing that empties this city walks straight through all of it. You are not here to cure anyone. Level 2. The ship. It began on the water. A merchant ship called the Grand-Saint-Antoine, in from the eastern Mediterranean, comes into the harbor in May with bolts of silk and cotton and with men already dead in the hold. The rules are clear. Ships from plague ports sit in quarantine for weeks. But the cargo is owed to powerful men, and the silk is worth a fortune, so the rules bend. The cargo comes ashore, and the bad air, it turns out, was never in the air at all. It was in the cloth, and in the fleas in the cloth. Level 3. The first street. You are given a quarter of the old town. The marked doors are still few here, a cross in chalk, a smear of red, a guard posted to keep the family inside with whatever is killing them. You knock. You count the swellings at the neck and the groin, hard as eggs, black underneath. You write a name in a ledger. You move to the next door. By the end of the first week, you have stopped writing the names. You only write the number. Level 4. The pits. You are no longer the only thing arriving at the houses. The carts come now, slow carts, piled with men walking beside them who used to be something else. Porters, bakers, prisoners promised their freedom if they would only carry the dead. The churchyards fill in days. So they dig pits outside the walls, long and deep, and the pits fill faster than the men can dig them. You stop being able to tell one street from another. Behind the glass, you have stopped flinching. You tell yourself you are getting stronger. You are not. The man inside the mask is getting quieter. There is a morning you realize you have not heard your own name spoken aloud in 2 weeks. Only doctor. Only the beak. You catch your reflection in the glass eyes of another masked man across a room of the dying, and for a moment you cannot find yourself in it. There is just the bird, and the bird is you. Level 5. The sealed city. Out there, beyond the walls, the world has decided Marseille is a wound to be closed. Guards are posted on every road. A line is drawn around the whole region, a cordon, and soldiers are told to shoot anyone who crosses it. Further out, across the hills of Provence, men begin to build a wall of dry stone, miles of it, to hold the plague inside the south of France, like a coal in a closed hand. You understand what this means before the people around you do. No help is coming in. No one is getting out. The city has been handed back to the thing that is eating it, and the door has been locked from the outside. Level 6. The arithmetic. There is a number nobody in the city says, and you do the sum anyway because you are the one with the ledger. The dead are no longer behind the living. They are ahead of them. And here, at the bottom, is where you expect the story to simply end the doctor in the mask, walking a dead city until the city takes him too. But for a few days, something happens that you will never be able to explain. Bodies lie in the streets for days because there is no one left well enough or paid enough to move them. They pile it a place by the harbor, the turret, until the heap is taller than a man and the smell of it reaches ships out at sea. The city has, in effect, surrendered. It is waiting for the last of itself to fall. Level 7. The man who buried them. His name is Nicholas Roze, a Marseille man, a former merchant, a knight, the Chevalier Roze. The corpses at the turret are the worst of it, the rotting center of the dying city, and no authority will go near them. So Roze does. He gathers men, volunteers, and convicts with nothing left to lose, and he organizes the impossible, the clearing of that heap, body by body, into the pits. Almost none of the men who go in with him come back out alive. He knows this when he starts. He does it anyway, and for the first time in weeks, behind your glass eyes, you feel something move that is not fear. You watch one man decide that the dead are owed something in a city that decided they were not. You help where you can. You carry. For a few days you are not a costume the city pays. You are a pair of hands doing the one useful thing left to do. It does not turn the tide. It was never going to turn the tide. But for those few days, the bird is a man again. You will hold on to that. You will need to. Level 8. The mask. Understood. The good days end, because the plague does not keep your hours. And there is a morning you will not be able to say afterward exactly which one when you reach up to fit the beak to your face and you finally understand the thing you have known for months and refuse to hold. The men in your quarter who wore the mask are dying at the same rate as the men who did not. The glass is still scratched, the herbs still sweet, and none of it has ever stood between you and the disease. The costume was never armor. It was a flag the city planted on you, so that the dying would have a shape to look at. You have been the performance, and the performance is nearly over. Level 9. The fever. It does not announce itself. It is only that the street is warmer than it was, and then much warmer, and the inside of the mask is wet, and the swellings you have counted at 1,000 throats are now, when your glove finds them, at your own. You keep walking your quarter, because the habit is all that is left, and because there is no one to walk it if you stop. You knock on the doors. You count. And one of the numbers you have stopped writing is going to be you. You sit down, at the end, in a doorway, with the harbor below you, and the ship that started it still at anchor. You reach up to the mask. The mask comes off. The street rushes in the smell you forgot existed, salt and smoke and the thing under it all. The world is no longer yellow and far away. It is close and gray and ending. And the last thing you see clearly, without the glass between you and it, is the city you could not save and were never meant to. Roughly half of Marseille will be gone before it stops near 100,000 dead. They will not remember your name. They will remember the beak. They will keep the mask and lose the man every single time. They will forget the 40 marked doors and the ledger with the names you stopped writing. They will forget the ship let in because silk was worth more than a quarantine, the wall built across the hills to hold a region inside its own death, and the one knight who walked into the worst of it on purpose. They will keep the costume, hang it on a wall, and call it history. Another life history for God is waiting. Subscribe.